And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. Yeah, I think we got a few services we're gonna improve before we expand the city too much more, although we're apparently very well set for just expanding the city more. So we may look into expanding the cities more as well, just in population. But service-wise, we're going to continue to improve services. I think we're going on food stalls next. Finish upgrading those. So we'll pick up that upgrade. Notably, that is also the requirement, or the prerequisite, for food nutrition. So if we want to be reducing our food consumption, that's where we go to reduce our food consumption. Okay, so we're going to turn the speed down. We're going to go through the stalls one by one. So it's either going to be furniture or it's going to be cut stone that's going to hold us up here, going through these. Okay, so 2 are upgraded. Okay, and that's maybe an argument to expand stone cutting capacity. Yeah, oh no, it's time to expand stone cutting capacity. Okay. Maybe the time to expand it. It is the time to expand it. So another 30 masons. Over here won't be too bad. So I think we'll slide it in there. We were thinking about putting the temple earlier before we decided the temple specifically wanted, like, extreme space. And then, innovation-wise, if we do need stone cutting badly enough, that is something that we can improve upon. Although we need a lot of stone cutting for it to be viable to improve upon. Okay. This is, of course, going to require us to have more stone. Can I find the stone importer? Presumably have one. Here's my stone importer. I'm actually going to tell you to raise the stone import level. 2 more steps. So in theory, we have a little bit more incoming wares. If the driver basically sits at full, and we're still having issues with stone, then we want a bigger importer. But for the moment, I think that one will be large enough. In theory, it should be able to be importing up to like 1,000 at a time, so. And it's definitely better to import stone, which costs 14 right now, and cut it for local consumption. Arguably, almost might be profitable enough to import the stone, cut it for export. We don't really have that much free labor. Does look like I could probably go with another housing district. Workforce is negative at the moment, so we need to probably expand. Although we're in the middle, it's the middle of harvest season, that's why the workforce is terrible. Although then maybe that's an indication that, again, we probably still want to expand. Because we don't want the time of year to be dictating whether we have workforce or not. Punish actors. Or punish and threaten actors. Your actors are exploring new kinds of art recently. The play focuses on the follies of other rulers and the strange customs of faraway lands. The plays are very popular among your subjects, which are quite grateful to have a more normal ruler. Some are very unflattering, but memorable caricatures have managed to spread back to the rulers who inspired them, and the pile of letters demanding some kind of action is now at your desk. So I can leave it as is, in which case we get loyalty, and other factions like us less. I can punish them to get a opinion buff instead of opinion malice, or I can punish and threaten for extra cruelty. Oh, actually, no, that isn't even an option because I'm not cruel enough. So we can just punish them, that's all we can do. Honestly, at the moment, I think from a diplomacy standpoint, I don't think we care enough about the other people, so... Just gonna roll as is. Put another housing district up, like so. What do I want it, like... No, I think we'll go for... here. Yeah, we'll get that housing district set up. So this allows us to have more housing, so we can bring more people in, so that we can be less worried about the fact that we have negative 30 workers. I think this is a seasonal fluctuation, so it'll probably go back positive before we bring the people in, but... Oh, we got a new title. Ruler making his people a homage to the spiritual realm. Surely guards reward such piety. So we've now got a new title unlocked that just provides a happiness bonus. It does get better the more people you've unlocked it with. Again, this is the farthest I have successfully played into the game, let's say. VKN. Anyway, we're just waiting for the city here to grow. Or waiting here for these to be constructed. Waiting for the cut stone to pile up. These are going to need to be upgraded when they're built. Which is also going to eat cut stone, so... Just waiting for things to happen, mostly. Anyway, before we start distributing furniture as furniture, we want to get basically most of the services completed. And upgraded so we can get an idea of what they're going to cost. Plus, they cost furniture up front as well. And then at which point we're then going to have to expand furniture because we're going to need like plus 100 furniture a month before we start doing that just to pay the maintenance on it. Right, wood to furniture is 136. Fish to furniture is probably pretty similar. 91. That's not as bad as I was expecting. Okay, so now we have housing for another 100 people. I'm just gonna let another 100 people in. So now we have odd jobbers for various projects. Although I'm kind of leaning towards just getting even more cut stone, so we can build up the services faster. Yeah, let's grab another masonry as I'm thinking about. Our import depots are full. Okay, so... yeah, we might not have enough space in that one. So let's build another one of you. Let's make it real big. Let's make it the biggest one we're going to get in one row. Put that over here for stone imports. After being punished and reminded of your recent deeds, I don't remember punishing. Your actors produce much more flattering depictions of your peers. Your subjects are not impressed by the sudden change in tune, but the decision falls squarely on them, not on you. Okay. There we go. Should help with the import of stone. Should help with hats having enough cut stone. So now we're making 40 cut stone a day, which is more than the furniture, so we may need to be worrying about furniture in the future. And probably at the point where that's almost worth it. Almost worth it being the key word there. Back to upgrading food stalls. I'm not being so aggressive with trying to feed everyone, so... maybe worth getting some storage for... well, expanding the storage for eggs, now that I'm looking at the food, the egg storage. Probably put one in here. Logistics warehouse. Okay, let's go with that for the warehouse. We can store more eggs. We can make our people a little bit happier just with the storage. At some point I may decide to try to feed them a little bit more. Although those aren't necessarily mutually exclusive. Coming to the decision it's time to feed them more, and wanting to store more eggs to facilitate that are not not fundamentally opposed, I suppose. Okay. So we're going to put you on automate. We're going to assign you to take eggs, mostly. Some meat. Some livestock. And I think we'll go you more eggs than that. Like so. Mostly eggs. That's what we're producing and caring about here. And we will improve the quality using the furniture. Not so sure about the next step on the quality. Okay. Let's find a food stall so I can go through the list. Upgrade you. Upgrade you. So, 7 of 8 upgraded. I suppose we could check on the neighbor. We did have an event that raised happiness. Although either didn't hang around long enough. Although we've had a generation swing, haven't we? You're a different, you're a different person. Although it kept the flattery emissary. Okay. Going. So flattery is applied. Eunice is applied. They don't like our kin treatment. Someone that doesn't like me is making them like us less? Okay. Trail. Although that's their value on that. Okay, so the left number is the one we care about, not the right one. He does care about more about generosity. Pacifist, cruel, and lazy. So there's an argument to get more emissaries going so we can make them like us more. I think that's fairly low on my priority list. At some point we want to expand our territory, and the intermediate steps goes through alliance / sort of integration of the neighbors. Anyway, we have pretty good food coverage on the food stalls, at least at the current food serving level. There's maybe actually a shortage around the libraries because of how much travel time people have to do getting into and out of the libraries. Well, that's the only real place where we're getting indications that maybe isn't enough food stalls nearby. Which that's probably actually an indication there isn't enough housing nearby. Let's describe that slightly differently, because we've comboed the food stalls mostly with housing. Yeah, I think one way to keep the sick numbers down is I think it's time to up the access to food. Go from 1.5 to 2. That took 5 food days off, but that's fine. Improve the quality more and more. Again, this is going to slowly raise the upkeep cost for cut stone, furniture, and pottery. And we're actually pottery negative, so I should expand pottery. Okay. So that's going to temporarily turn you off, although it's not going to take very long for them to put a door in the wall. Okay, didn't take very long to put a door in the wall. And as soon as that one's done, we're going to actually destroy this one. So we can clear that space up for more pottery making. In theory, we're exporting pottery, but obviously we're not exporting pottery because we're not actively net making any. There we go. This is also an argument to make bigger pottery makers at some point. These aren't very big pottery makers. One of those is done. In theory, that one being done is enough that we're positive pottery, but we'll appreciate being even more positive. In the meantime, let's get back to upgrading food stalls. As long as we're going along, that is improving food stall service. This one, which is a very big one. It's 3.5 development. Almost as important as the wells. Our people really like wells. They were the markets. And actually far more important than restaurants. When they go to get food, they either go to restaurants or food stalls. We arguably probably want to provide mostly food stalls, so... yeah, mostly want them to go to food stalls. Improved food rations has improved health. Yeah, we definitely have a happy enough population that if we were really interested in getting the population to grow, we've got space. Well, we got space in expectation. Fulfillment versus expectation. Maybe don't have space in actual housing space. We definitely need to build more housing. Although, where we are at the moment doesn't really require us having more people in the town, and improving the services for the town doesn't necessarily require us to bring more people in right now. So let's prioritize getting those upgrades complete. Accident has occurred. Not too much of a problem. Arguably mostly waiting on cut stone to be made. Got some unburied corpses. Oh, on his way up there. Okay, so it's just people not getting around to dropping them in the hole. We have so many food stalls. Which I suppose allows us to sort of penny packet out the upgrades here, as far as the stone maintenance is concerned. Got stone maintenance. Anyway, I've got enough knowledge, we could pick up either Architecture 5.5 or... No, it would be Architecture 5. Well, Architecture 5.5 or Luxurious Health. So that is Speaker versus Hearth. Which would our people care about more? So we'll say 0.9 for the Speaker. Hearth is more than 1, so we'd probably do the Hearth next. Yes, we still have some space for improvement here in building up the shrine. Running the shrine quality, but otherwise, yep, everyone's pretty happy as far as religion's concerned. Oh, and that is providing a plus 10 bonus to egg production. Oh, plus 5 bonus to egg production, sorry. Plus 10 bonus to the vegetable production. Just because of how much cut stone I need, I am half tempted to bring even more people into the town just to make more cut stone. I don't think we need the production, just it would make my impatience be dealt with quicker. Is probably a good way to think about it, right? I'm impatient and I want the thing done now. Although I'm trying to be patient. So I think it's, well, technically it's 2 to a half. It's basically 4 to 1. So yeah, stone is cheap, but also you're gonna remember it's 14 times 4. So it's about 56 per cut stone. So yeah, it's still pretty much worth importing cut stone and cutting it yourself if you need it cut. And then in tech, I could always expand innovation more, although I don't think that would necessarily be good for improving the cut-through wood, although it would help a little bit the cut-through wood. Don't really need more wood right now. You know, the pots have mostly benefited from basic craftsmanship, which affects all 4. So it's going to be quite a bit before that becomes viable for expansion. In fact, you need 130 in the industry for it to be viable. Crude crafting tools. Fine crafting tools. Fishing tools. And there's work safety, we want less people to die. There's improved embassies. That's more immigration, but probably passing the immigration. Lawfulness would be argument, because that would help keep law up. Probably don't bother with the military for the moment. Yeah, I suppose most of the things we're seeing with, or I'm looking at in here, to decide if the innovation's worth doing. Oh, the mine might be worth doing. Let's grab a couple levels of the mine here. Mostly that is, we've got enough people in the clay mine to benefit from upgrading this, and then it also affects the stone mine as well. So in theory, we import a little bit less stone. People displaced. Disaster struck someone else for once. Okay, so we've got improved immigration right when we don't really want to be immigrating people. Yeah, there's no free territory near us to invade. So it'd basically be either we expand via diplomacy or just expand by sending the troops in. Kind of where we're at the moment. So for at least the foreseeable future, unless I'm going to go full heavy militant to attack our allies at this point, we're sitting here peacefully in the town trying to build up the economy so we can diplomatically annex them. Which I think is something like 20... We could take a look at what the cost is going to be. Like 22 million. Right, so diplomacy, unite... 47.4 million right now. I think the price goes down the more they like this as well, so... So if we sent more emissaries on them, in theory that'd be cheaper. This is one of the bigger ones for when we were trying to distribute food more aggressively. And there maybe is an argument to do a bit more aggressive food distribution. Yeah, it's stabilized at about the new level. ahead and turn it up again. That costs us a couple more food days. But overall, that will make them a little bit happier. Or maybe more importantly to us in the midterm, makes them a little bit healthier. So a little less likely to be sick. We're back in the middle of the harvest season, like, we got negative odd jobbers again, and the answer is, well, because it's harvest season. It's all the vegetables coming in. Vegetables and herbs and stuff coming in. Ah, that's the noble. The vegetable noble coming around the vegetable fields. Fair enough. We've got promotions. We could actually promote the nobles and make them a little bit better. I've been kind of hoarding the promotions. Got 14 available promotions. Although I think the only industries where we'd get the full return is... Well, I don't think we'd get the full return on any of them, honestly. We don't quite have enough fishers for another promotion to be worth it. Don't have quite enough Globidin pastures for the next promotion to be worth it. Although both of them would generate net improvement. Because it's basically 2 people worth of production for the first 100, or the next 100 people in the industry, each time you promote it. So, very valuable. But you presumably need the people for it to be truly fully worth. Yeah, we're going into winter, we still have a deficit. I think I need to bring more people in, which means I need another housing district. Got an idea where I want to put it too. Probably over by the labs. So, copy area. So that's the area I want to copy. Although I'm now remembering about the fruit over here. So I want to be careful not to put it over the fruit. Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. Let's put it there. Remember one of the locations where I was saying we were having food stall issues was in here, so the food stall here will help, plus the housing. Okay, this is probably going to hold another 100 people. I'm going to be real greedy. We're going to let them in. And the first thing they're going to have to do is build their houses. Although we just let 100 people in an economy, immediately ate like 50 of them for some task. Oh, I have a clay shortage. Something's not calculating that clay. Should in theory be producing enough, which probably just means that either we had an event fire or having delivery issues, much like we were having with the charcoal earlier. Okay, let's get these upgraded so we've got adequate housing. And then I'm going to put more people in the clay pit, because obviously we don't have enough production from the clay pit. Oh, that's one of the other bigger ones. There we go. Don't prioritize fetching, please. Just realized they might be shipping things to the wrong thing. We'll see how that works. We might be oversupplying clay again. What might have been happening is we were accidentally prioritizing export, which would have been good for the bank balance, but not necessarily good for the need to store the item. Wait, why are we... No, we're not supposed to be... Don't store that. Don't store that. Don't store that. Where are my restaurants? I should double check if the restaurants are doing this, not doing the same. Yeah, there's a restaurant. Oh, I can't tell the... Oh, no, I can tell the restaurant one, not store. Store those. I have no idea where the mushrooms came from, but don't. Our people, in theory, aren't eating them. It's even an argument, don't store the meat. Well, they might be eating the meat if the veg is missing, so that's fine. We've got an open space. Let's actually have you take mushrooms and fruit. So if you're collecting mushrooms, we know if we are. Still don't know how some of that got into the restaurants, but apparently it did. Okay, we have a decent supply of workforce. When's the next one upgrade? We're at 28 of 36 upgraded, so 8 more to go. And we'll have all the food stalls upgraded to the fancy new level. Yeah, I think we worked out we're going to do Hearth next after food stalls. Hearth should be pretty doable, right? Yeah, it's just mostly cut stone. It's got a little bit of metal in it, which is potentially expensive when we start stacking a bunch of that, but metal might also be something that's worth importing the input of which is metal ore, right? And then exporting depends. That's 37. We make coal locally with the charcoal, so that's not too bad. The metal's 254. Yeah, it might be worth actually making more metal, even if we've got to import the ore for it. It's also basically the same argument, more veg. It might be worth growing more veg at some point, so we're not importing as much. Although all that's going to be prioritized after getting other services done. Upgrade. Is that a big... That was a big one, that's why. Like, where did all my cut stone go? I thought I had enough for, like, 3 upgrades. Like, 3 of the small ones. It's like, yep, but the big one's like 3 big ones, or 3 small ones, so... The big one is big. Who'd have guessed? Thinking about veg. Probably should move on to veg. This pump working at full power it isn't actually No, it is hydrating all the fields. Okay. Okay, probably want more veg in here, let's say. Although I will probably need another pump to do that. So let's actually go for another pump. Veg up there. Oh, I need to... Well, it's happy with size. Go up to there. Then I'm going to want to extend you. Up like so. Up like so. See how those fields handle. Probably not enough, but it'll be a start. And then from an environment standpoint, how's the stockpiling of... They'd like to stockpile even more eggs. Okay. Pay the extra to get the egg stockpile even bigger. I'll do some more food stall upgrades while I'm thinking about it. Four more to go. I'll maximize the food stalls. Although I say that, I think I'm going to add another housing district in, so we're ready for more population growth when the time comes. It's going to look... No. Got a little too close to the Grand Temple there. Okay. So we suspended the job. Council. Place the road tile there, and that'll be good enough. There we go. That should provide enough housing for another 100 or so people. Also provide more housing conveniently placed near the libraries, which eventually we're going to want even more knowledge, because we're going to want more services, right? We're going to want to pick up Glory to the View, the High Entertainment, so that's 280. We've got 800, so that's like 200 more, plus 120 there, 80 there, so we're looking at least 400... 550 more knowledge we're going to want. No, that might be more cost. That might be more worker efficient to bring in as imports for leather. Warehouse hauler and the exporter is not aggressive enough on the paper, apparently. Where's my paper exporter? Let's try getting you to have more workers. That might not help. Yeah, I'm debating if the export depot is actually big enough. I think it's just tolling issues, honestly. Nothing to fetch in the vicinity. Where is my paper storage? There's paper storage. That's a pull source, so feel free to pull from there. And then that's the other paper storage. That's the other paper storage. So pull from either of the paper storages. Okay, 2 more to go. And then probably some housing upgrades. You probably want to upgrade those houses before I forget about them. Oh yeah, we can definitely see that the this was the area that needed more food stalls because we've got 9 workers working in a food stall that normally only has one employee because of how desperate they are to bring more food into the food stall. Probably sneaking up on the point where I'm going to have to make even more cut stone. Upkeep is upkeep. These fancy services use a lot of cut stone. I might need to get more gem storage at some point. Yeah, I think we'll let another 100 people in. there goes all our empty housing. Get another masonry district. Masonry builder. Because that's what we need. We need more masonry. Snake oil. Forbid the sales or ignore the issue. Scrupulous merchants selling wares of dubious value were attracted by your city's lack of education, while things like talismans and charms at least do not cause harm. Various tonics supposed to cure every single ailment regularly make your subjects sick. Throwing at the peddlers and forbidding the trade of unknown remedies will likely anger some subjects who are already convinced of their effectiveness. Yeah, no, we forbid those sales. People less happy, but people are healthier as a side effect. Snake oil banned. Banned and improve health, though some subjects resent us for this. They convinced themselves the efficacy of whatever sold to them long ago and see this as an attack on their health. Even though it's an attack to maintain their health. All the food stalls are upgraded. First round of upgrading those houses. Okay, just enough to get the full housing upgrade. There we go. All our houses are now upgraded once again. So there's one thing we could do. No, we probably still want to hold off on the furniture upgrade in case we need to do the furniture. Dearest sea brother, remember me? I remember you. How am I? You ask. Well, I've been to the forest protecting, always protecting. It's exhausting, you know. My sisters have written down what we need of you this time. May your bow be steadied. Two-Faced Violet. Okay. So how big is Two-Faces Violet's, you know, rating group? 158. Yeah, we're not stopping 158 without significantly expanding the military, which we're not planning on doing right now. So you have, you're gonna get paid. Yeah. We paid the ransom. This raider will leave us alone for now. There we go. Now, there's an argument also probably to go ahead and lower the food servings for the moment, because the food days are down as a side effect of all the rations being sent and a bunch of the money being sent. House is upgraded. We'll hold off on furniture. The next service we're going to implement is, I think, upgrading the hearth. Changes have caused us to lose a little bit of knowledge, and we're not making as much knowledge as we used to. Okay, I'm going to risk that we're importing enough, or that we export enough that we can afford to do this. I'm going to turn the leather import back on. And then we're going to turn leather on in this library. So that significantly raises the knowledge target, which means we can pick up Luxurious Hearth. And then we can go around improving the hearths. As metal and cut stone allows. Although looking at the time, this is probably where we're going to go ahead and put the part break in. So we got one hearth to hopefully remind us of what I should do for next time. You're watching on YouTube, there probably will be a part up for you tomorrow, assuming all the recording schedule is going according to plan. And minor blips should still mean there's another one going up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, obviously this is the last time you're probably going to get your comments responded to live, so if you want to get a comment responded to, now's the time to put your comment in. If you're watching on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube and you want a comment responded to, please leave comments. I do try to respond to all of them. I think I have one that I need to go respond to that I might do after we're done with the stream here today. So today was Songs of Six. Tomorrow will be Subnautica. Monday will be Terra Invicta. Tuesday will be Darkest Dungeon. And we'll be back to playing this on Wednesday. So that's the upcoming schedule. I hope you've all been enjoying. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you can't wait for that schedule, or you can't wait for those parts to go live, because I record them obviously first. I'm streaming live to Twitch, the recordings, and then I upload them to YouTube. If you can't wait for them to be uploaded to YouTube, you can sneak over to Twitch and watch the Twitch VODs. If you're listening to this on YouTube after this has been posted, because this should be the last bit of the recording session, those should have all been recorded in your past, although they may not be uploaded and scheduled to release yet. But you can always sneak over to Twitch and probably watch them. But that's the upcoming 4 days. I hope everyone has been enjoying. And just a reminder, I am streaming this live to Twitch under the username WillCole, and then uploading the local recording to YouTube under the username WillCole100. So with that, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.